Today's episode of The Mom Game is brought to you by our friends at Gateway Buick GMC at LBJ and Jupiter. I know that buying a car can be stressful, but not at Gateway, because their slogan is Gateway's got it. And just what does that mean? Well, it means Gateway's got a wide selection of new Buicks, GMCs, and GM certified used vehicles, all competitively priced. Gateway's got it. In these busy times, you want a car dealer who makes things easy and convenient. Well, guess what? Gateway's got it. When you log on to gatewaybuickgmc.com, look for the Shop, Click, Drive button. This allows you to shop from the comfort of your home, and who doesn't want that? In fact, it's as easy as 1, 2, 3. 1, select your vehicle. 2, create your offer. 3, schedule your delivery. And on top of all this, Gateway Buick GMC offers complimentary car washes for life. So when you want a dealer who has it all, Gateway's got it. You can find them online at gatewaybuickgmc.com or shop in person at LBJ and Jupiter. GMC, we are professional grade. Experience the new Buick. And welcome to episode 133 of The Mom Game. I am Emily Jones. She is Julie Dobbs. I am in Seattle. She is in the studio. So our long run of being together has come to an end, but only briefly. Julie, how are you?
I'm good, Em. I'm good. I'm always so happy to catch up with you when we do this.
Yes. Yeah.
I feel like a lot happens in a week that I want to talk to you about, and we have things we want to get to.
But what I love about us and our little relationship is we will just send each other like bullet points. Like, yes, we got to talk about this and that and this, and then we won't talk about it any further because we want to save it for the good people of the Mom Game.
Exactly. We have thoughts. Oh, do we have thoughts?
We have lots of hot topics today. No guests, so it's just me and you getting caught up. I am on my last road trip of the season.
Yay.
Yeah, West Coast, which always kind of sucks, just because your body clock gets so thrown off. Yeah. And but it's good. It's been a long season for the Rangers, and I think we're all ready for this to kind of come to a close and start moving on and thinking about next season. And so it would be nice for the Rangers to have a little good feeling going into the off season if they could, play some good baseball. And they started off in Seattle playing some good baseball, winning 5-0 in the opener. We'll get to more sports in sports.
Sportsy.
So we're sportsy. It's a sportsy time of year. So we'll talk about all that. But yeah,
how are you feeling about the last road trip of this season? I know the traveling has been kind of hard on you. Are you trying to enjoy the alone time before going back full time to the house, or are you just ready to be home? Or
that's a good question. So I'm trying to embrace it. I mean, there's nothing I can do at home. There's nothing I can do, there's just that's one glorious thing about traveling for work is that you just kind of come to the conclusion that what's happening at home is going to have to happen. I'm going to get a bunch of phone calls and text messages, and that's fine. But there's only so much you can do from 1,000 miles away. So what I try to do is take advantage. I put the blackout curtains down last night, and I didn't set an alarm. And so it's nice to kind of sleep in. I get up and I go for a run and come home and come back to the hotel, get some work done. And so I'm trying to kind of enjoy that because it is my last one of the season. And, as we all know, I operate on year-to-year contracts, and you never know if this is going to be the last one of my career. Who knows?
Yeah.
I'm just trying to take it all in and enjoy the downtime. And, I came home from the game last night and learned how to Chromecast on the fancy TV here in the room and shot my. Do you know how to do that?
No.
Okay, so it's like mirroring your screen, which I never really.
I can do that with Apple TV.
Okay, so this isn't Apple TV. This is like a Google TV. So I'm talking to my photographer who travels on every road trip, Ashley, and she's like, "Okay, you can Google Chromecast." I'm like, "Oh my God, it sounds so exhausting."
I know, Ashley.
She's like, "It's 3 steps. You can do it." Blah blah. Because I was watching
I'm watching Southern Charm right now.
You had to Google Chromecast so you could watch Southern Charm. Is this really what's happened?
Yes.
Oh no.
Yes,
Okay.
I did. It was so awesome.
You needed
I'm
bigger stage for Southern Charm.
My tiny little iPhone, and then I can't even get it to like fill the full screen. So I'm watching this tiniest little thing, and my eyesight's getting worse. I'm just getting old, and so Ashley's trying to tell me how to Google Chromecast. So I got home last night. I poured a glass of wine, take off my makeup, get in bed, and then I'm like, okay, I'm going to try to figure out the Google Chromecast. And I was actually really proud of myself. It took me like 2 minutes. It is a few steps, and then all of a sudden, Southern Charm pops up on my big old TV in the hotel, and
cool. You're like, why didn't I know this earlier?
Yeah. So life is good. I can't complain. I'm trying to just kind of take everything day by day, enjoy, quiet moments when I can, and hopefully the Rangers will make things interesting, at least in these last handful of games. So what about you? Hockey started back. So what's your home life like these days?
It's back to crazy.
Yeah.
It's back to crazy. Even like Kelly's been doing this for 13 seasons. We've been doing it with kids for 8 seasons, and it's still just crazy. But I am using more help this year. And I have a really wonderful babysitter. Shout out to Alex. If you're listening, I met Alex in the elevator at a Stars game and stalked her because I could tell she was awesome with kids, and my kids in particular. So she's helping me a lot. I just kind of had the realization. It was like, I was always trying to like do it, just save money really. And trying to not have help. And now I'm like, okay, I just need it. I really need it. And we got a lot of things going on and work-wise too. So I definitely need her help this season. So she's going to help. We have to like get into our routine. The weird thing is that there's not like a structure to it because the Star season fluctuates. Sometimes he's there, sometimes he can pick up, sometimes he can't pick up, and sometimes he only knows because the coach has to tell him the day of what time they're going to leave. So those things are tricky, but it's good. I'm excited, to see how the Stars do, and the kids are pumped to go to hockey games. They love when we get to go. They want to see Miss Ashley and get their candy. So no, it's all good. It's just, every day, one day at a time.
Yeah, one day at a time, sweet Jesus.
Yes.
One day at a time, whatever it takes to get through the day.
Whatever it takes. Exactly.
Okay, let's start out with some sports. Hit that because I know we got a bunch of fun hot topics.
Yeah.
That we can get to. So let's start with sports. Talk a little bit about the Cowboys, about the Stars. We can talk a little bit about the Rangers even if we want to.
Okay.
So let's hit it with sports.
Sports brought to us by D-Valor Wellness. And I just posted about Melanie the other day. You've been posting about Melanie, and I want to get your update before I tell everybody. So where are you at with your skincare routine with her?
So I'm starting the ZO products, which I'm super excited about. I'm waiting till I run out of my Rodan and Field stuff, which I've used for years and I love it, but I just wanted something different.
Yeah.
So I was going to give these a try. So I'm about to start those. And then she did on me Dermaplane, which is like getting rid of all the like fuzzy, like the peach fuzz hair and like the dead skin, which I thought was perfect with summer being over. I was back from Mexico and not going to be out in the sun much anymore. So she dermaplaned me. Nice. And then she did this like enzyme, like something that works from like the inside with like enzymes. I don't know.
Oh, wow.
I feel like my skin, it feels good, looks good. So yeah, then we're talking about some more things once the off season's here and I have time to look a little weird for a couple days. Yeah. I think I might try that micro needling stuff, which like makes your face really red. And so I'm excited to try that. So yeah, she's awesome.
Okay.
I mean, she's basically
I knew you were getting a little, you're getting deep into it there. Like,
yeah, but I'm excited about it because I'll just go in. She'll be like, okay, come in. She's got an hour blocked off, and then just come in and let's see what things look like and what we want to do.
Exactly.
And that's what I love about it. Cause you don't feel like, she's just super chill and she's really easy.
If you listen to this show, then she's like us. Like she's one of us. And you can say
she's a shit too.
She is. We all are. And you can just tell her like, hey, I have an hour. What do I need? This is my budget. So she's awesome. She's real. When I say she's one of us, she is a mom that took a different career path because she had been working in orthopedic surgery and just wearing herself out. She has 3 kids, started her own company, Devalor Medical Wellness, and it's mainly focused on skincare. And she sells this wonderful product, the Zeo. Which one is it, Em?
I don't know.
Zoe.
I just say Zeo,
but I really love it too. I really love it. And so she sells it. You can get all of that through her. And then, like Emily said, you can do the Botox, you can do the Dermaplane, you can do Dysport, you can do fillers, dermal fillers, Sculptra, Cubella. Like, she helps with the fat freezing stuff underneath your chin, all of that. She did create a link for us. It is devalormedicalwellness.com/the-mom-game. And if you go to our link tree on our Instagram and our Twitter, there's a link. You go there, sign up for a free consultation. You can do it virtually if you're not in Fort Worth. If you are in Fort Worth, I feel like it's in a really great location, kind of in the middle of things. You just go pop in, set an appointment with her, and get your consultation. We highly recommend it. We've loved getting to know her. And the other cool thing about it, Devalor is named Devalor because that means worth in Italian. And she decided she needed to know her worth. And I think we all need to know our worth, and some things are worth your time and energy. And you want to make sure you're doing these types of things with somebody that you trust. And that is what Melanie Cobb is. So we highly recommend her. Holler at us anytime if you have any questions about how to reach out, and we can help connect you with her. Let's get sporty.
Okay. Yeah. So I think, we got to talk about the Cowboys. I mean, I know that we've been talking, people in the media have been talking about it ad nauseum, obviously, but
we haven't talked about them.
Maybe mom and gamers want to get our thoughts on the Cowboys. And my thoughts are, I'm freaking excited.
Yeah.
I thought to myself, and I almost tweeted it when I was watching the game in the second half on Monday night against the Giants. And I was like, I feel like the Cowboys are like every guy I dated in college, to where they do just enough to keep me interested. But the vast majority of the time I can't stand them, Like, that's the way the Cowboys are for me.
You try to break up with them, and then like a week or maybe a month later, they'll text you like, "Happy birthday."
Yeah.
And you're like, dang it.
Yeah.
Why did you pop back into my phone and my life and my brain? That's exactly how the Cowboys are. That's a good analogy.
You have burned me, Dallas Cowboys, so many times that I want to quit you, but I just can't quit you.
Well,
and then they bring you back in with like this great story about stinking Cooper Rush and, Micah Parsons and Dak is a very lovable guy as the face of that franchise. And so it's like, for the last 2 decades, I've wanted to love them so hard, but they just didn't give me a reason to love them. And now they're giving me a reason to fall back in love with them again.
Okay,
and it's a beautiful thing.
I love this. I love what's happened because after the first game, nobody had any confidence in them anymore. They looked really terrible, even with Dak playing, and then Dak got hurt. And so it was kind of like, well, that's the season, Everybody was just so down on them, and here we go again. And candidly, I didn't think they would go with Cooper Rush even. Up until he started that game too, I thought that they'd be, scanning the arena to see who else was out there. And it could be someone older, it could be someone random, it could be someone we haven't heard of in a long time. I really thought they'd be trying to find somebody to come in and step in for Dak and make Cooper that person's backup. But
I thought they were going to bring back Quincy Carter.
See? Yeah. That's where my head was at. It was somebody I didn't know what was going to happen, but obviously the easiest choice for them is to go with Cooper Rush. But they know, sometimes it's they do know what they're doing. Sometimes the people that watch practice every single day and watch the practice squad every single day and have been watching this guy and have been watching Noah Brown know what they're doing. And I know that about the Stars. I know that the people that are in charge know what they're doing. But for some reason with the Cowboys, I always want to second guess everything they're doing. And I guess it comes from the top. That's Jerry Jones.
Well, and I think that's normal with everyone. I think fans they see what they see when the team is on the field and the game is on television. That's what they see. I mean, it's happened so much. I see it so much with the Rangers. Why did they pull that guy in that situation? Why did they put this guy in that situation? Because behind the scenes, maybe the manager knows that, so-and-so's dog just died and he is like really distraught about it and could barely get to work today or whatever. I mean, or he's actually been hasn't felt well. He's sick. They can't figure it out. Like, but he just doesn't feel right. They know all those things that we don't know. And so they see every practice. And so I think you just, at some point, like you said, you just kind of have to defer to those people.
Yeah.
Are they always going to make the right decisions? Absolutely not. But do they have the most information to make the best decision possible? Yes. And I think that's hard for us as fans, especially those of us who consider ourselves like, people who pay really close attention to a team or a sport or something. But at the end of the day, those people in those positions are seeing a lot more than we are.
Yeah. And so Cooper Rush stepped in and has done like beyond anybody thought that he could do. He's won 2 games in a row. He looks really good. He looks really calm. He looks really poised. It looks like the team believes in him. It looks like he already has those kind of go-to people like Noah Brown, the receiver, which is another position where everyone was kind of wondering who's going to step up. Are we ready? You lose Amari Cooper. CeeDee Lamb is now your number 1 guy, and who's going to be the number 2, the number 3 until Michael Gallup gets back. And those two, I love it. It's like a win for the good guys, the guys that have worked hard, that have hung around the practice squad, that nobody really has paid attention to. Like, they're out there churning every single day trying to get their shot, and they got their shot, and they've got a good thing going, the 2 of them. I've been really impressed by Cooper Rush. On the field and off the field. Off the field, I can't figure him out, Emily. I'm like, I feel like he's like a robot or something. Like, his answers in interviews, like, he's just very calm. And I guess that's how you have to be, because you want that to, you want to play that way too. I still don't have like a good feel for his personality at all. I did hear him laugh when someone asked him about Jerry's quarterback controversy question. So I'm like,
that made
at
me
least
like him a lot
I'm
more.
like, at least he laughed. I've heard him laugh. He's not a robot.
Well, and to the fact that he's not like, that he recognizes the situation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he's comfortable in that role, and he's like,
because I think everybody on the inside does recognize, like, no, what are you talking about, Jerry? Like, what? And then the freaking media, and I always am annoyed by the media, but this is part of their job, and it is to stir the pot, and that's what happened. And I know we were going to touch on that too, just the idea that Jerry has put out into the world that there could be a quarterback controversy here. And I loved what Zeke said about it. Did you hear that? Someone asked Zeke about it, and he was like, no, there's no quarterback controversy. That's just people that are, on the national people on ESPN. They're just trying to get people to listen. And then might have been Jane, our friend Jane. She might have said, no, I think it wasn't Jane, but it was a woman reporter, and she said, well, it actually came from inside this building. It was Jerry Jones that said that, and Zeke just did a Zeke laugh and just laughed about it and said, oh, well, yeah, same thing. That's Jerry Jones just trying to drum up marketing and get clicks, And so he just threw Jerry under the bus, and I feel like Jerry would throw himself, he'd be right there laughing too. And so somehow that's turned into a narrative now, which is just silly. It's like, let's just enjoy this one game at a time and not try to create all of these, just try to create tension in a locker room that doesn't have tension in it, and try to create these storylines. It's like, let's all just chill and let Cooper Rush be Cooper Rush and see what happens. And don't get in his head by having a quarterback conversation being out there. But anyway, I've been super impressed with him. I'm super pumped, like you are, Em, that the team's 2-1 now, and things are looking pretty good. And if he can keep this train on the tracks enough until Dak comes back, and you know what? I'm not saying anything about a quarterback controversy, but sometimes it is good in any sport, for a starter to sit on the bench for a little while and watch somebody else play and do his job, and he'll come back maybe, having learned something and being even more ready to go for this season, and maybe even a little bit more of a chip on his shoulder. So,
well, I just think it's nice that that they're giving us reason to stay in this thing.
Exactly.
Especially after the way we all felt after week 1.
We don't want to give up after week 1. Then what do we do on Sundays? Like, I'm not ready to fully adopt another team.
Right. No, not at all. So I would like to thank the Dallas Cowboys for sending me that happy birthday text when I haven't heard from you. in a couple of months. And yes, I'll consider meeting you for coffee or maybe even happy hour.
I love it. Keep stringing us along, Cowboys, and we'll be the first ones there when you're ready to propose. We'll be right there. We will say yes. We will accept your ring.
Yes, at the Super Bowl.
At the Super Bowl. At the Super Bowl. That's Cowboys talk.
Yeah. So hockey. I know there's a lot. I mean, it's preseason, whatever. How are you feeling about the new coach, the team? What do we need to do on the blue line and the red line?
And the red line and all the lines. I have admittedly not been paying super close attention to these first 2 preseason games. They lost the first one, I think 4-0, and then they won last night in Tulsa. They played Arizona in Tulsa, which is just like a mind F when I say that sentence. Kelly was walking out the door, and I was like, okay, well, have a good day. We'll see you later. And he was like, did you know I'm going to Tulsa today and back? I was like, Tulsa? No, but it's the team, trying to spread the hockey energy all around in states that don't have a team. So they played in Tulsa last night and they won 4-3, apparently went to overtime. These games haven't been televised, so I don't even have to apologize for not knowing what's happened because they aren't providing it to us, which I still think is crazy. But I think it's going to be a transition period with a new coaching staff and with a lot of young players. I looked at the roster the other day and I was like, what? I don't remember the last time I looked at the roster and didn't recognize so many names. It's very weird to me. I don't have a face for a lot of these names. But you do have your Sagan, your Ben, your Pavelski. Jake Ottinger is ready to, I think, be, he's going to be the number 1 starter in net all season long. He's ready to prove that it wasn't just a wonderful performance in the playoffs, and they did sign him to a deal. So I'm feeling good about things, but honestly, I feel like we don't really know until regular season starts. It's a lot like NFL preseason where they don't play everybody and they're trying to whittle down their roster. So we'll see. Kelly, I know, loves working with the new coach so far. He says Pete DeBoer is great to work for. He's very calm. And I think that team needs somebody that has a very calming presence that they can trust and that isn't going to waver one way or another if the team loses or wins or looks like crap or plays great. I think he's going to be very just kind of narrow, going down the line.
Keel.
Even keel, that's the word. Thank you. So we'll see.
Yeah, exciting times. Basketball will be starting up soon. We've got hockey going, baseball wrapping up. So Rangers, like I said, we got Seattle, Anaheim, and then back home for the Yankees for 4 to close out the season, which should be really exciting regardless of what happens in between now and then, because Aaron Judge will be in town, trying to get that, 61 and then 62. He may have hit it by the time this airs, but it's been a minute since he's hit a home run.
That's what I heard. People are walking him and not.
Yeah, he had 4 walks on Tuesday night, which is, it's got to be frustrating. But yeah, that's a fun little storyline to watch.
Tim, how cool would that be if that happens in Arlington and you're there?
I know. I just can't imagine, though, him not hitting a home run in the next 5 days.
Right.
But I guess he could hit one and then get to 61 and then break it in Arlington.
Yeah.
But yeah, it would be cool to witness history, no doubt.
Would MLB Network be like, Emily, go grab an interview. We're going to use it.
I think they would probably go with the Yankees reporter, but you never know.
I don't know. You've got to be better than her.
So there's something interesting to watch, toward the end of the season. And then I wanted to bring this up, and I heard my colleague and my broadcast partner bring this up today on the radio, on his little radio show. And it was a really good point that gave me some serious optimism about next season. So the Rangers are, I don't remember the exact number. It's 37-14 or something when they get 6 innings out of their starting pitcher.
Mm-hmm. I heard this
which,
too.
That says a lot of things, right? If your starting pitcher goes 6, that means he's pitching well because he's pitching in the 6th inning. But that number is really good. It just hasn't happened enough. But the offense is there. It's not always clicking on all cylinders at all times. No one's is. But, if they can get starting pitching in here, if they can get a couple guys from the farm system that the timing works out to where they're ready next season. And if they can get a couple of proven veteran arms in here to shore up the starting rotation, this team has a chance to make a significant, leap from 2022 to 2023. And so I think we've seen that this ownership group will spend. They did it last season with Corey Seager and Marcus Simeon. I don't think they'll spend as much this offseason with the pitching, but if they can make a significant investment in pitching, I think this thing has a chance to be really good. And I don't mean really good like win the World Series, but make things interesting, be in contention in September. And so that really is, I think, kudos to Dave for, kind of finding that, but, that's the key is that starting pitching for this. And that's what this team is missing so desperately. And I think it also reinforces the need to bring back Martin Perez, because even if he's not your number one, he is an absolutely quality middle of the rotation starter. He eats innings. He gives you consistent performances. He's not going to give you many, turds where he just goes out and gets shelled for 6 runs in 2 innings. This team needs something like that. So anyway, it'll be an interesting offseason, but I feel like that gave me some encouragement today when I heard it. Like, okay, yeah, I mean, the key is pitching, and you've got to get, pitching that can go deep into games.
Right.
And, if you can get starting pitching that can give you 6, your odds of winning go way up.
Yeah.
So.
And so we're talking about things that we want to happen in the off season ahead of next season. And it's funny because my mind goes to like, all right, John Daniel's getting to work, but he's not. And then it's like, all right, Chris Woodward, he's going to have this to work with. Oh, so where do you see things with the manager right now? What's going on in that regard?
Yeah, I mean, we talked to Chris. I talked to Chris Young about it a couple of weeks ago, and he said that Tony Beasley is absolutely in consideration for that, and feels like that the job that he's done is not reflective in the win-loss column. A lot of stuff goes on behind the scenes that, again, like we talked about, we don't see. But I think that's the biggest question mark of this offseason is how are they going to fill that vacancy, and what style and type of manager do you need to bring in someone here who is young and fresh with new ideas, or is that not going to work because you need someone who is established and well respected in the game that can walk into that clubhouse and command the room?
Right. So
that's the biggest question mark going into the offseason is what the heck are they going to do that? And then also Chris Young has to construct his front office the way he wants it. How many of the guys on the staff currently are they going to keep? How many new people do they want to bring in? Where do they get those from? So, Chris Young has a ton of stuff on his plate this offseason, but he's a smart and capable guy. I think, now that kind of all of the dust has kind of settled from all the changes, that he'll be able to kind of take a deep breath and really come up with a really good plan as to how to move forward with this thing as a whole. So, yeah.
Okay, well, we will follow it along on Sports here in the Mom Game.
And I do think that John Daniels will be making his first comments and do his first interview right here on the Mom Game with us.
Love it.
Just waiting to confirm.
The best place for him to do that is right here.
So fingers crossed. We talked earlier this week, and I think he's on board. So,
awesome.
And still working on that damn Dirk. Still working on him.
Yeah, Dirk. He's a tough one. But once again, he's everywhere but here.
He is. It's my life's mission.
I know. Point. And I respect the fact that you want him in studio. We want to make it good. We want to get him for a while.
We could have knocked this out 6 months ago. Yes. But he wanted to be virtual. And I was like, no, you're in studio. Virtual. Period. End of story.
I want to touch you.
Yes. Okay. All right. Let's hit the TMG news desk brought to us by Early Bird CBD. I just pulled up my copy points for Early Bird. Why do I need to do that? I don't need to pull. You know what? I'm going to pull up this. Where's my bag?
Pull it up, Em. Show us what you got.
Where is it?
She's digging in her suitcase, great. For those of you that are not watching and are just listening. But she cannot find it. Pull this up.
My Early Bird CBD.
It is an Early Bird CBD gummy jar.
I don't travel without these things.
Yeah.
I have to have them. They just help me. They help me chill. They help me relax. They help me just take myself down a notch. It's CBD with a little touch of THC to give you that really good feeling. It's such a game changer for me and my personality. And so I am digging the early bird CBD. It has, it can affect everybody in different ways. Some people use it to kind of get a little bzz and then, go out and be a good time. For me, it's like, I just want to chill and take myself down a notch.
Take the edge off, put a smile on your face.
Yes, absolutely. So, super stoked that our relationship with early bird continues. Eric Culver and his, what he's doing is fantastic. We love that he, kind of lets us do our thing, because he's like, if you're using them, just tell your story, tell what you're doing. And so we've had a lot of people with questions about it, and a lot of people trying it out and seeing great results from it. And so we are thankful to Early Bird CBD for bringing us our TMG news desk. Okay.
And you can get 20% off if you go to our link tree and you click on the link. 20% off. You're welcome, everybody.
Say it again.
earlybirdcbd.com/TMG. If you click on it, it will automatically apply that discount for you. You've heard us talk about it a lot now, so now is the time to try it. 20% off if you use that link, earlybirdcbd.com/TMG. It's also in our link tree.
Yes. Always use the discounts. Okay, so this isn't really like news, like breaking news or widespread news. But my mom texted me last night during the game, and she's like, can you call me when you get a chance? And I was like,
oh no, during the game.
Okay. So I'm on the West Coast. She's on the, Texas time. So I just call her in a break, and I was like, what's wrong? And she just starts crying. And she's I hate myself. And I was like, what happened? She's like, I got scammed.
Oh,
and I was
no.
like, oh no.
Carol.
So I didn't have time to get like a full, play by play of it. But basically, it was like an 817 number, which is Fort Worth area code. She picked it up because she thought it was somebody calling about a chair she's getting repaired or something. She gets sucked into what she thinks is a conversation with AT&T, telling her that she will get 50% off her bill for the next 2 years if she does X, Y, and Z. And it was getting like Target gift cards and then giving them the serial numbers. And I'm like, Mom.
Oh no.
I don't want to beat up on her because I'm like,
she's already crying.
Happened. Yeah, I've gotten scammed before.
Me too.
This was years and years and years ago. There was like a Southwest Airlines, like I got these vouchers and I can't use them, so I'm selling them for cheaper. I met this chick at a gas station and got these vouchers and paid for them. And then turns out the vouchers they weren't valid. Like, hey, moron, duh. So anyway, it happens, right? But I just want to be like, Mom, a giant company like AT&T is not going to tell you to go to Target and get some gift cards and give them the serial numbers. But I can see, these people can be so.
So it was somebody that then was able to go use the Target gift cards. That's what they wanted.
So that's what I'm thinking is that they get the Target gift card numbers and then they go buy a bunch of shit with it, right? And then there's no trace of it. There's no whatever.
Yeah.
And so, but I definitely didn't want to, like, she was already being so hard on herself. I was like, Mom, look, this kind of stuff happens. I'm just glad it wasn't more. I mean, it was less than $1,000. I was like, I'm just glad it wasn't more. And please just call me on things like this and don't click on links and don't,
Isn't it crazy? It is like, it is coming at us from every angle. They're trying to get your phone. They're trying to text. They're trying to email. They're trying to just like do pop-ups on your computer. It's like, it's just crazy right now. I feel like
I just think it's so important, especially with our parents' age, like, and a lot of them too on fixed incomes. Like my mom only has a certain amount of, she's trying to save money where she can. And she sees this as an opportunity. And it's like, oh my gosh, please just always call me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I felt bad for her. And you know what? F those people. I hate scammers. Gross. Like, go and fucking work.
Exactly.
Like, you're a douche. Like, ugh, it makes me so mad.
Yeah.
Like, just go work instead of scamming people out of their hard-earned money. It just makes me want to punch him in the face.
I know. My grandma was victim to a bad one, and I won't get all into it, but it was like a guy that she lived alone. She was in her 90s, and he came and he like fixed her fence or something, and like just with this big overarching plan to become her friend and be her handyman. And so he'd like try to tell her, you need this, you need that, and she'd say okay, and she'd pay him, and he'd fix these things, but he kept asking for money and having a big story of why he needed the money each time. This is what he's doing. It has to do with his family and blah, 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 to where she was just writing him checks because she trusted him and she thought they were friends and she thought he was going to pay her back. And then after accumulating a large chunk of money from her, he disappeared. It's
oh my God.
So
and that's just so gross.
Yep.
Like, how can you even
how do you live with yourself? And like, why is your car, TV, or whatever the hell you're buying worth that? You know?
I know. So anyway, just my little PSA to be vigilant with have conversations, especially with your parents. Yeah. You know, and you know, it's like same with your grandmother. Like my mom lives alone. Like she's, you know, so have those conversations with your parents, because I feel like people are really shitty and take advantage of people like that. So,
and people like us, or I don't know how you are, but my mom and I always give people the benefit of the doubt and try to believe them and the good in humanity. And I think you're the same. But I guess we can't be like that
most
anymore.
of the time. You probably more so than me.
Yeah. Probably so. But it's to my detriment
more
sometimes.
Than you, Julie.
It's to my detriment sometimes. I'm like, yeah, just pay me whatever. Well, this will all work out in the end. And then you end up never making money. Ma'am. Yeah.
Okay. What's on your feed? We've had some things we wanted to talk about for a while. Okay. But first I have to ask you this, because there's been some stuff on my feed that includes speculation about you. So I feel like we need to address that.
I've been on your feed.
No, but you've been on my feed about
that's hot.
Things happening.
Yeah.
I know there's probably not a lot you can say or confirm or deny or whatever, but I just feel like we need to at least address the elephant in the room, that something might be happening with our Julie.
Yeah, we can address the elephant in the room, because the last thing I would want is like mom game people to read whatever is on your feed, on their feed, and be like, what's happening to the mom game? And the answer is absolutely nothing will ever happen to the mom game. As long as Emily and I are capable and willing and having fun with this thing, it's going to continue. And if I were to get another job, it would definitely be written into the contract that I will still do all of the other things that I had been doing previously to getting the job. And you were right about the fact that I can't talk about too much yet. But yeah, things could be changing, and the mom game is going to be the first place where I come to talk about it all. And it's all changing for the good if things change, and it's going to be fun.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm glad we got that out of the way. We just wanted everyone to know that we're still in business here at the mom game, and Julie will give us all the dirty details whenever the time is right.
That's correct.
Okay, something else that's been on my feed that's been making me crazy. What the fuck with the Stanley Cups? Like, and I'm not talking about hockey and the big pretty silver or gold trophy, whatever color it is. I'm talking about like, so Stanley Cups have unseated
the ones that I'm holding.
Yeti, like now.
Do you see it? Can you see me?
I see it.
Yeah. So
what is happening?
So what, you're just seeing it everywhere? Everyone's talking about it, or what?
I'm seeing it everywhere. It's like the trendy thing. It's like the new, you know, what are those body bags called? The Lululemon
crossbody.
Boob. I call it the boob bag.
Yeah.
And that everyone started wearing their fanny packs between their boobs. And then that was like the biggest thing ever. And then now it's like Stanley Cups. And I'm like, what? So
I have a boob bag and a Stanley Cup.
You do?
Well,
I haven't done the boob bag because I made fun of it. Now I feel like a traitor.
I have it. I got one just for two things. I got one when we were in Colorado because I was actually hiking. And then I wanted one for taking the dog on a walk because I had my phone and I had dog treats and I had dog poo-poo bags. And I was trying to figure out the best way to do it all. So, but I don't wear it really anywhere else. Some people wear them like all the time. It's like, it's totally
so
like
part of a mom outfit. Our fanny packs out and we're just on boob bags?
I think you can still do fanny packs, but I think if you're really super cool and hip, then you do the boob bag. But when I do the boob bag,
there's lots of shops around here. I'm going to go get a get
one.
I'm caving.
I was just going to say, when I do it though, it doesn't feel weird. It doesn't feel right. It feels awkward. It feels weird. I feel like I don't have it in the right place. And so everyone will look at me and be like, she's trying to be cool, but she doesn't even know how to do it. And that makes her even more uncool than if she didn't have the boob bag. You know what I mean?
I mean, I feel like the access is like really smart. Like you're right here, like you're not down here.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like it's a very practical concept.
we want our hands, right? Like we want to have our hands available to things.
Yes, but I just what happened to the fanny pack? I got a really cute one that I like to wear, and now I got to go buy a boob bag. Like,
I think you can still wear your fanny pack. Don't be scared of the fanny pack. The fanny pack is tried and true, man.
Okay, so what's so great about the Stanley Cup?
So I carry a Yeti or something every single day to drink water all day, every day, and it has always been a Yeti. I'll have like all kinds of like knockoff Yetis, but the Yeti, I have two and they're my go-tos because they keep things very cold. We all know, right, why we love our Yetis. And this isn't an ad. This is just life that I feel like can help people. So I
don't think Stanley
doesn't need our help.
They're doing just fine.
They really are. I can't believe it. So I'll carry the Yeti around, and then I have a bunch of crap in my arms, as we do as moms. And I'll go to like, oh, there's some trash at the bottom of my car. And in the back of my mind, I'm like, Emily's going to like give me shit if I need to clean my car. I need to clean my car. I got to pick up my trash. So I'm like, I have all these things. I have the Yeti, and I go to lean over to pick up the trash. And then the Yeti spills every time because it doesn't have a lid and it just has that little hole. And so whatever my arm does, the Yeti does. And then all of a sudden, not only am I sad that I'm holding all of this shit and picking up trash, but then I'm wet. So I'm very sad. So I've been trying to find a new alternative because of that. And my Yeti lids have just, I think over time, they don't like stay on as well. They're not as secure. And I saw, as you did, the Stanley Cup all over my feed, this mug. And I have a friend who's a blogger influencer in my neighborhood, and she was posting about it. And I saw she had like a link because apparently it's like the bog bag. Remember the bog bag things?
Yes.
So those were like such a big deal that you couldn't find it. It was like, oh my God, the bob bags are back at Nordstrom. Everyone click on this link. So she posted, she was like, the Stanley Cups are in stock. It won't last long. And so I clicked on it and I bought it. Like I didn't do what I usually do, which is really thinking about it. And do I want to spend $50 on a mug thing? $50. Yes. But I bought it because I just knew deep down that I'd be happy. I wanted to think with my heart and not my brain. Okay. And I knew my heart would be happy if I got a new mug. And so I bought it, and I will tell you, it's amazing. It's really amazing.
Really?
So it's big enough.
Does it have I will say the one thing I noticed is like the shape of it. Mm-hmm. Like it must be awesome in cup holders.
It is awesome in cup holders. It fits in cup holders, which is huge. And then it's still giant.
But what's the straw situation? Like when you try to close it, where does the straw go?
When you try to close it, I have not done that.
Oh,
yet.
So is this your own straw, or does it come with a straw?
It comes with a straw, and I haven't de-strawed it yet. I use a straw. I don't know if it has an option to drink without the straw. I don't think
so. If you lean over, is the liquid still going to come out the straw?
No, because it's a straw.
Just
so no, it just you hear the liquid shift in the mug, but it doesn't go all the way upside down and out the straw. Does that make sense?
Okay, so there's a little more margin for error.
There is more margin for error, yes, and it stays really cold like the Yeti. It's really big. I was always refilling my Yeti. It's bigger than that. And then, what was the other part about it that I love? I often because I always, if we go to somewhere and I'm with the kids, I'll oftentimes have my water and forget their water because I'm such a good mom. And then they'll be like, Mom, can we have some of your water? And this is like big enough, and the straw, they can drink out of it. I can share. So like I'll go to Anna's gymnastics and I'm like, no, I meant to do this. This is the water that we share. I didn't forget your water. So I feel like for me, it's worked out really well. And I'm very proud that I made that impulse purchase.
Okay. Well, good for you. If you're happy, I'm happy.
Oh, and it's got a handle.
If you're happy.
And
it has a handle.
Which is
which
is handy, if you will. It's very handy.
If you will.
Yeah. So I fully support it. It is a craze that I can get behind. I know we mentioned talking about like mom things that are so expensive and what's worth it and what's not. Did you ever do the golden goose thing? Because that one I cannot get behind, and I'm just really trying to avoid it.
No, I'm totally out on that.
$500?
Right, and they to look like someone has drug them behind a truck for 6 months. I just don't.
There are people laughing to all the way to the bank and Golden Goose factories across America because all of these dumbass moms want them so bad.
Yes. And it's just like, I mean, listen, you're talking
to
about
call you
someone
dumbasses
who
if you have
used to
golden gooses.
gamble with
I love you.
stupid amounts of, whatever. I can't ever judge anyone on what they do with their money, because there was a period of my life where, like I said, I would put $500 on it and a blackjack, which is so embarrassing. So anytime I ever try to like make fun of my friends for that, like, oh, you're golden gooses, they're like, oh, blackjack, like, shut up.
Right.
So true.
Yes. We all have our things.
So it's like, it's just like that, like the Stanley Cup. Okay. With granted, that's just $50, but maybe like they love these shoes and they feel like they can wear them with every outfit. They can wear them with dresses or pants or athletic wear or whatever. So fine. It's just, I don't get it, but I've never been a fashion person. I don't know the first thing about fashion. I am not stylish. So it's like, that's just not important.
Maybe we need to like emergency have on Style Duplicated to talk through the Golden Goose situation.
Yeah, that's true. We could
one day. Because I have tried knockoffs, because I do think they're like, I mean, I don't think they're so cute that I need them, but I'm like, they are practical. If you can wear them, dress them up, dress them down. You can wear them, with a dress. Everyone looks really cute when they wear them, but I don't want to spend that much money on them. I've got too much shit to spend money on, like for my kids.
Like also too, I've bought 2 pair of red bottoms in my life, 2 pair of Christian Louboutins or whatever they're called.
Yeah.
For special occasions, and people probably think that's stupid and insane. So at the end of the day, I don't understand the Golden Goose craze. I would never purchase a pair of Golden Gooses, but if that's your thing and that's where you want to spend your money and they make you feel good when you rock those shoes,
you can wear them a lot. Yeah.
More power to you and get after it.
Yeah. I was just going to say
that's not going to be me.
I have not found a good knockoff. So if anybody has a good knockoff, let me know.
Okay. Yeah. Good point.
What else we got?
I don't know.
Some cheating stuff in the world. Oh,
do what?
And fillers. Use filters. You've been wanting to talk about filters for a while, and then we'll wrap up with the cheating thing.
Yeah, I'm just so out on filters on Instagram.
Yeah,
I'm so out on them. I feel like
bothering you about filters.
I don't know. I just feel like, and maybe it's jealousy because like I see some of these people and I'm like, damn, you look good, and then I look and it's like, oh, it's this filter and this filter. I feel like wearing makeup is enough of a filter, like people, because when the vast majority of the time, this is what I look like. I don't like to put on makeup. I don't like to fix my hair. And so I feel like I try to set the bar so low that if someone actually sees me in person, they're not completely startled.
Yeah.
Because this is how I roll the vast majority of my life, unless I'm going to be on television, and then I put on makeup and fix my hair. So the last thing I want, because people, I'm sure, are startled when they see this, if they're used to only seeing me on television. If I added a filter to that, and then someone saw me in the wild like this, they'd be like, holy fuck, what is happening?
No, they wouldn't.
I think it's just maybe just a me thing. I don't know.
It's kind of like a lie. Like, you're lying to everybody.
But I mean, it's like, why do we need to do all the time filters? Why, to where, your skin looks perfect and I don't know. And I guess it's, again, I mean, but then again, when I do those selfie stories or whatever, it's painful looking at myself. So maybe I should pop a filter on there.
Just do the Paris filter. I don't go anywhere. I don't go any further than the Paris filter. It's the first one if you swipe to the left, and it just like clears things up a little bit. It's easy. It doesn't look fake. And I do not look as good as the Paris filter in real life.
I guess for me, I'm trying to set the bar as low as possible over here. So that's where I am on filters. But again, it's just like with everything in life. It's not my way is not the right way by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah.
To gamble, to put $500 on a hand of blackjack, not buy Golden Gooses or a Stanley Cup.
This is Emily's guide to life, and you must do as she says, or you can't be in our cool club.
Oh, for God's sake, don't do as I say, or as I do.
Right?
Please. But it's just things that I like question, I like think about. Like,
well,
oh,
and
I wonder,
I go straight to thinking about like girl, like, can you imagine being a teenage girl? Like you're gonna have soon. It's like, and then the filters and then everything on social media. That's a whole nother animal. But I'm like, gosh, like.
Yeah,
it makes me sad.
So anyway, just that it was just something that had been on my mind.
Yes, I know, and
because some of them are crazy. Like it's like, wait,
yeah, they're crazy.
Look like
They
that.
don't look like that. What's going on? Or they like puff up your lips and make them look bigger. It's just like, oh dear. All you got to do is go to Divalore Medical Wellness if you want your face to look good.
Yes, exactly.
That's right. And then the other thing, I just saw, like this in the last week or so, a couple of different like cheating scandal stories have come out, and I have the same reaction each time. I'm like, damn, men are never content. I know it's not all men. Lots of men are content and happy, but Adam Levine cheated on his supermodel Victoria's Secret wife. And every time I hear about this, I'm like, you can have the hottest girl in the world. She's a freaking Victoria's Secret supermodel. She's a mom of your 2 kids, I think, pregnant with their 3rd, and you still can't keep your shit in your pants. Like, we are all, there's no hope, Emily. No hope for the rest of us.
I think there's a couple points here that I always think. Like, first of all, we don't know, you don't know the situation in those marriages. You don't know, I mean, we don't know that. We don't know what's going on. We don't know what her personality is like. Just because you're hot as balls doesn't mean you're like the greatest person ever, or that anyone would be lucky to have you. I know plenty of hot people that I can't even imagine, spending an hour with, much less a lifetime, whatever. So it doesn't, I mean, hot doesn't equal everything. So to me, that's like kind of a moot point, whatever. I mean, and there's tons of hot people. It's just,
there's a lot more hot people in the world.
I mean, I don't think
another.
This is anything. I just don't think this is anything new in the world. It's just now we have more access to it, that information, that whatever, that it becomes public, in the public purview, which to me, honestly, kind of grosses me out. Like, I don't really care to know about that stuff. I mean, I love juicy reality TV or whatever, but I don't know. I just
Southern Charm.
I eat Southern Charm, big player, but I don't know. Like, I just don't. You just don't know, and I don't think it's necessarily just men looking for the next hottest person or whatever. I think hotness.
That was my blanket take.
Right, but I honestly think hotness has way less to do with it the older you get.
Right.
And maybe I'm wrong, and not in all cases, but I don't know. I mean, when you're
it's
younger,
kind of like if you have good morals, if you're a good person versus not, like that will always be who you are, no matter how hot the person you're dating is.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, I just, and then you too, I mean, in a way, like, I mean, I feel bad for, I mean, I don't necessarily feel bad for Adam Levine, but like, I feel bad for her that like all this is out, like,
she's pregnant.
God,
I know.
and
so
I don't know.
what do you think about, because it was like DM conversations, and there's a report, one of them was physical, but if it was just DM conversations with multiple women saying, you look really hot, this, that, why don't you distract yourself with me, blah, blah, blah. Like, that's cheating, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't think that's a positive for a marriage by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, I just, first of all, there's no such thing. Especially these high profile people trying to slide in DMs. Like, I just don't understand what part of them thinks that that's just going to remain private. It's just not. It's just not. And that to me is the biggest, like, the thing that I get perplexed the most by in these situations.
That's
like
how horny they are.
You don't know that. You
they
don't
know
that
it's probably going to get out, and they don't care.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like, I don't know. It's just weird, and it goes to show how crazy our world is now. That social media is such a big player, and that it's just a whole different world. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's just a whole different world in every single way because of these things that we walk around with all the time and that have a recording device.
Anybody can get in our hands and in our brains within 1 second. And then the other one, which is a big deal, the head coach of the Boston Celtics, Ime Udoka, had an affair with somebody that he worked with that was on staff and he's not going to be able to coach for the whole entire season. And when I just looked it up today, because this came out a few days ago, at least this report says the woman having an affair with the suspended Celtics head coach was allegedly a travel planner for the team who handled his fiance's travel and their move to Boston. That's bad.
Yeah, I mean, it's,
I know we both know how that works. It's like there's usually somebody that kind of takes care of the wives and the families and makes sure everything runs smoothly. It's like, damn, girl, that's shady.
Yeah, yeah.
And
well,
he was
and it's
engaged.
not everything. Everything is, especially when you're in high profile positions. Like everything is. It doesn't seem like there's any limits as to what can happen as a result of those things, and then what can be put out there and the speculation that can happen because of everyone's desire to figure everything out. Like it's like as soon as the stuff with Ime Udoka happened, it's like, oh, we got to find out who it was. We got to find out this.
And there was a lot of Twitter speculation. Everyone kind of harassing all the women in the
rush to
organization.
judgment and all that kind of stuff, to where it's just kind of like you said. I mean, it's a crazy, crazy thing with the way the world is now, and how everything you do has the potential to be put out for all the world to see.
Yep.
I
know. It's just crazy.
Yeah, like that Tech. Did you see the video of the Tech fan shoving the UT player?
No. No, I heard about it. I didn't see the video.
Yeah, in the post-game celebration, total horseshit move by the Tech fan, like ridiculous, embarrassing as a Tech fan. Like, come on, clean it up, kid.
I know.
Just goes running on the field and shoves this football player. Like, that's just ridiculous. It's gross. But you know what? Your image now has been captured, and now you're going to be identified. And good. I hope you never have to go to a Tech football game or any Tech sporting event again.
At these sporting events that make it like hard for the rest.
Yeah, it's just gross. Like, and we had a big win over a rival, and like, can we not
that
just
becomes
like,
a headline? Yep.
Yeah, right. And can we act like just a little bit classy? Like, whatever. That's just so gross. It grosses
Keep it
me
classy,
out.
Lubbock. Keep it classy. College football.
I know. Clean it up.
Clean it up.
Don't
Clean
be
it
like
up.
that.
Now we are being moms on the mom game. We are scolding
For
you.
sure. But come on.
I know. I'm with you, Em.
Okay.
All right. So what did we learn? We learned about the Cowboys are never going to
Cowboys are
be
like
the boyfriend.
every guy ever dated in college.
This is worth it. The Golden
Stanley
Goose
Cup is worth it.
maybe aren't.
Golden Gooses are not worth it to us.
Keep it in your pants.
And don't bet on, don't put $500 a hand on blackjack.
Morals.
Yeah.
Life lessons. TMG life lessons today on the mom game. And with the asterisk that we are never right about anything. These are just our opinions.
What? I keep talking over you.
I said with the asterisk on the life lessons that we are never right. These are just our opinions.
Seriously.
We are usually wrong.
Where are we next week? Are we in studio back again?
I think
Yes.
so. Yeah.
Trying to look.
I'm here. I don't go anywhere.
Next week next week we're back in studio, and we have the we're talking CTE.
Oh yeah. Very topical.
Yeah.
Yep. That'll be good.
Youth football, concussions, all that kind of stuff, with a family who lost their son as a result of it. So anyway, that should be an insightful conversation next week for sure.
For sure. Enjoy your last road trip of the season.
I will. I'm gonna go hang out.
Go do something. Go do something. Have fun.
Okay. All right. Well, have a good week, Jules. I will see you next week.
That sounds good.
In
In the meantime.
Mom game out.
Mom game out.